Hello and welcome to Getting to Grips with the Industry. I am Sean Bradley and here with me is Giles Dawson.
Hi. The first one is public service, where public service broadcasting is where TV productions intend to they broadcast for the public services rather than to advertise. So if anything, no advertising gets cut in between these programmes. A good example to use is the BBC Breakfast in the early morning.
Okay. So now I will be talking to you about commercial and private programming. A commercial is a short snippet of a visual media that revolves around a certain product. Like, for example, this remote control made by Epson. They would have had an advert for a projector, so they had to make that. The sole reason for the production of this commercial is to advertise the product. When a commercial is shown, depending on how well it is crafted, may grab the attention of the viewer, such as you lovely people, and it may may draw them towards you purchasing their product. This may be yours someday. Now, the commercial may be successful in both selling the product and also entertaining the audience. And a memorable commercial is the main platform for a successful advertising campaign. Now we will move on to private broadcasting, which is when television and radio programs are aired so privately by these privately owned corporate media, as opposed to state sponsorship, which is what they do in the United States of America. In an hour of broadcasting time, let's say 10 to 20 minutes, they are devoted to advertisements, with advertisers paying money, the money that I have like right here, to have their commercials aired in between these television programs. In Europe, which is where we are right now, public and private broadcasting is, they coexist together, as programming is largely funded by the public donations, government grants, and broadcast receiver licenses. And I am back again to talk to you about independent companies. Now, an independent film company is not owned by a major corporation, but by a sole person or a group of people who wish to, make and produce films outside of the studio system. Now, this could be done to allow for complete freedom and artistic expression. And the filmmakers that run the company are tasked with producing independent films on a limited budget. The interest and the admiration of independent filmmaking is increasing, and the businesses that provide distribution for independent films may thrive to grow and to profit for them. Like, for example, New Line Cinema, which was an independent film company that was made successful by the Nightmare on Elm Street franchise before being sold to Warner Brothers. Giles, you want to?
The next one is global companies, where it's a production company that will span from maybe all over the country, or even better, to countries all over the world. Which this can be making television productions or movie productions. A really good example of one is, of course, Walt Disney making, of course, many worldwide known films to people of France, America, or anywhere across the world.
Okay. Ooh, this is going to be such a toughie. Okay, vertical and horizontal integration. Now, vertical integration is where a media company owns several different businesses in the exact same chain of production and distribution companies. Now, when a company expands its business into areas on the same path, like vertical integration can assist those companies in reducing the costs and improving efficiency by decreasing transportation expenses and reducing the turnaround time, which is among the many other advantages. And horizontal integration is the media company's ownership of many other businesses that are placed at a worth of the same value. A media company can own several other formats of media, including television, radio, and newsprint. This isn't exactly newsprint, but this nice little quiet please, that's a good example. And almost all of the other media companies engage in this horizontal integration, as it helps you create more money and make their company so much more popular amongst the other readers. People that are more literate of technology nowadays, with Facebook and Twitter and iPads, they are more illiterate of technology than of newsprint, and they will read a magazine or a news article online as opposed to reading a newspaper. So horizontal integration can help to reach a wider audience. For example, in 2009, which was 7 years ago, the Walt Disney Company, as Giles had previously mentioned, bought Marvel Comics for $4 billion. Their intent was to put Marvel's 5,000 characters into their content, involving video games, films, televisions, and as attractions at their theme parks. The agreed takeover is through a combination of money and stock in the company, with Disney's shares, accounting to roughly 40% of the whole entire buyout price. Marvel's chief executive, Ike Perlmutter, scooped $1.4 billion in cash and shares in Disney in exchange for his 37% stake in the business. Now that is a lot.
Next we have is license fee television, where you would pay these two companies among Sky and Virgin or any others for such television as movies, kids shows, entertainment, sports, religious shows, or your basic news. And of course the two big examples of what are Virgin Media and Sky.
Okay. Now we're on to subscription-based television. This is usually provided by both the analog and the digital cable services. It began in the multi-channel transition, and it transitioned into the post-network era. Subscription-based television has resulted in a change in the type of content that is broadcasted by the network. And due to the unedited nature of subscription-based services such as Netflix and Amazon Prime, it is typical for the providers to showcase the content that is profane, violent, and sexually graphic. And subscription-based television has become very popular with cable and satellite television. Its channels can come in many different packages with many different channels, carrying an advertisement to combine the income fee with a lower subscription fee. Back again. Ooh, just when I thought it was out, they pull me back in. Pay-per-view programming is bought by subscribers of a cable or a satellite TV service to view it via a live telecast. The production, the broadcaster that is transmitting this content, will show the event at exactly the same time to all of the subscribers who had ordered the events. These events can be ordered via an on-screen guide, an automated telephone system, or through a live customer services representative. Pay-per-view events include feature films, sporting events, and many other different entertainment programs of many different genres. With the increasing popularity of the internet, the term pay-per-view can now refer to the programming that can now be accessed online.
But in sponsorship television is where a certain company will pay to represent their certain products inside the program. So this is why you would hear such things. Actually, instead you'd see it as an advertisement. So such as Coronation Street. Just before it begins, you'd normally see the Compare the Market people doing just saying they've been sponsored. Just this program has been sponsored by CompareTheMarket.com. Which I found an example on, it turns out Harvey's Furniture Store used to do the exact same thing for Coronation Street, which is helping identify this as a sponsorship. And in advertising is of course just basically where throughout a TV programme just a certain sector will be of 5 minutes of advertisements basically where anybody can just pay for their product to be advertised within the 5 minutes. So an example I found is a good funny Volkswagen commercial, which the style of it is of course humour, and I've discovered many points of making adverts to be speaking to the reader, being honest and trying to use humour in a clever way, but trying not to be offensive to anyone. And product placement is where any company, this is where they will actually pay for the company to, they'll pay the production company to put their products inside the program. And they've said, so it will be mostly, so you mostly see sometimes in the James Bond films, you see the Aston Martins appear, and then think, oh, I may want to get one because I like James Bond, or you like them just because you like them. That's the end of it.
Okay.